Are
there.
we having a lack of sex because you're not in the love stage?
I feel like there was...
Yes or no?
Yes.
I feel like I'm brutally embarrassed because the comment I'd made about Afina's sister, it was heat of the moment. Obviously, like...
Never would I have thought that Adrian would make more sense than Dave. I'm so confused. What is he struggling with? What is he struggling with? It makes me question, did something happen with Veronica while the cameras were away? Did he make out with Veronica or not? There is more to that story. And then for Carina to be more upset about the fact that she was called a snob than the fact that she was told that you're conveniently a Catholic or conservative when it suits you, I don't get it. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 27. I wonder what day number this is of the partner swap. Anyway, you have Jamie and Adrian. Jamie and Adrian are getting out along like a house on fire because I think they've sort of aligned or realized that they do agree on certain things, and one of them is they don't like disrespect, so they've aligned on the fact that Lauren was very disrespectful. They had a good night. They were talking about it being creepy and Jamie saying she heard things moving, the doors opening or knocking, but it really seemed innocent. It really seemed innocent between the two of them, which I loved. And then we went over to Dave and Veronica. Veronica liked Dave, that's the impression that I get. I think she fell in love with him because of the way he treated his partner. So for her to be asked how was last night and her to have a guilty face tells you something happened. Either she told him she likes him, or he told her he likes her, or something happened in the bed. We've seen this on Married at First Sight UK, where two people shared a bed and then things went left. I know he's a very tall guy, so there's no way he would have been able to fit on the couch or settee, but he could have put the cushions on the floor and slept on the floor. The idea that she did something inappropriate with somebody else's partner. And I'm also side-eyeing Dave because of the way he behaved after the Adrian and Sierra issue came up. So the audacity for him to suddenly say, he's had a different perspective because he spent time with Veronica and he's starting to look at things differently. Yes, he hasn't told Jamie that he loves her yet, but still he's feeling some type of way. And it's like, this is about to go left. This is about to go left. And I feel really sorry for Jamie because Jamie has come into this with an open heart and she's really done everything within her power to grow this relationship. So if this man was playing her, I'm side-eyeing him big time. I'm side-eyeing him. I saw an interview they did. They seemed really cutesy and they were hugging and cuddling a while ago. So if he's played her, I'm going to be very furious. You have Rhea and Elliot. They're good. Elliot is on his best behavior as everybody's teasing him that he's going to be on his best behavior with Rhea because Rhea is very delicate, so I don't think you'd want to do anything to disrespect her or to cause her any pain. They seem in a very good space. You have Jackie. Jackie's on cloud 9. She really likes Jeff. Jeff is exercising with her. Jeff is cooking for her. He's steam cleaning her clothes. So she couldn't, be happier. She would rather stay with him because she says she doesn't want a gym boy. And it's like, why didn't you tell the experts that you didn't want a gym boy? And besides that, I don't think Jeff would cope with Jackie long term. I think he can manage her for a bit, knowing that she's going back to her partner, but not long term. You have Ryan and Beth. It's awkward. It's ox galore. You could cut the tension with a knife. And I think the letter writing task is the thing that made things worse. I think had he asked her for advice about his relationship, things would have been better. You have Paul and Afina. Paul is, feeling some type of way. I think he was really hurt by the comment that Carina made about Afina's sister. And so he has started to see his partner in a different light, which to me sort of aligns with the fact that if she could agree with what Lauren did, then they're birds of a feather and she's just as terrible. Sadly for Paul, he wasn't quick to pick up on it the same way that Elliot was able to quickly pick up on Lauren and Lauren's bad behaviors and check out. And he's already said this, that he was in a relationship for a year and then by the time he picked it up, it was too late. And sadly, it seems the same thing is happening. And whatever happens, she is going to hide behind the fact that he punched the door and still make him the villain. I can't wait. Because when they started, they were so picture perfect. I kept side-eyeing them that these two people are too perfect for my liking. Why don't they just pack it up and go home. And in week 3, I did say Carina and Paul need to go home before this show messes with them. And here we are. So you have Jamie and Adrian there doing the letter writing task. And Jamie in her letter writes and discloses that apparently they're not having as much sex as they should. And every time they do, she has to initiate it. And then he seems to be on board once she starts initiating it. And so Adrian gave her the hard truth. Because I agree with Adrian, part of it. It could be because they're in an experiment and this is a stranger. He's trying not to do anything that could get him in trouble, whereby he's blamed for, for initiating something that she wasn't comfortable doing. So that would be where my mind would go, that maybe he's trying not to get himself in trouble because she could end up saying, he forced himself on me. So he's trying to be respectful and wait for her to initiate stuff. But then when, you have Adrian's perspective and you see, the producers constantly hinting at Veronica and Dave, then I have questions. Because I'm starting to see where Adrian is coming from, that he might not be as attracted to Jamie as he's making out. He might not be as faithful as it is made us all to believe. I know, Dave was friends with Billy, so that could be Adrian is just not the best of his mates because of that issue with Billy and everything else. But still, at the same time, I think there is some truth to what Adrian is saying, that this man might not be as attracted to Jamie as he's made out. He might have been putting on a performance, and so he might not have been in this marriage 100% while she is there, fighting for this marriage and thinking that, things are going to work. Apparently, he doesn't like to discuss their physical intimacy. It's something that he wants to keep private. And it's like, well, now we understand why he wants to keep it private. I wonder what happened with this woman, because suddenly she's got a smile on her face. She's glowing. Veronica is glowing. Because before they cut off for the break, they actually show us a clip of Veronica smiling and giggling and giddy. And it's like, I hate this. I really hate this for Jamie because she doesn't deserve this. Elliot is the unluckiest man in this experiment. Because seriously, why is this woman shining all her teeth? I don't get what Veronica is laughing at, because there's nothing being said that's funny. Even the producers had to say to her, you're very happy and very giggly. And she went, yeah, I'm a very happy person. I'm always laughing. So my laugh has come back. And Dave makes it comfortable. I think she was envious of the connection that Dave had with Jamie. And so she's decided that this is what she wants. Because she actually mentioned it, that if she had to choose between all the guys, she would have chosen Dave or Jeff. And so I think because Ree is very quiet, she's decided to stay clear of Jeff, and she wasn't coupled with him. I think if she had been coupled with him, she would have made a pass the same way it seems she's made a pass at, Dave. Dave is very serious about it. He's not showing all his teeth the way she is. He is giggly with her, but in his interviews, he's not doing anything inappropriate. Whereas she is still giddy even in her interviews. And it makes you side-eye her, because you're thinking, so all this time you've been seeing this man, you've been admiring him, and now that you've been coupled up with him, this is your golden opportunity to try and steal him from his partner. What sort of nonsense is that? I didn't get it and I didn't like it. It left a bad taste in my mouth. You have Jamie and Adrian. They sit down to write their letters to their partners, because most of the couples have already done this. And we've heard a couple of sort of letters, and it seems to me the producers were mainly focused on couples where it seemed it was a bit juicy and there was something that would be carried on during the experiment. That's the impression that I get, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Anyway, Jamie is with Adrian. Her first question is, do you think Dave and I will last beyond the experiment? And you have Adrian say no. And he said the reason why he's saying no is because he feels Dave is being his perfect self. He's not being his authentic and genuine self. He's bringing forth his representative. And I think it seems once Jamie gets to meet the real him, she's not going to like him. And it's like, what did Dave do to Adrian? I'm now curious, because why is it Adrian is going hard like that? And so, Jamie sort of asks, do you think he likes me as much as I do? And you went, no, because you told him you loved him, but he hasn't told you he loved you. So there is a possibility that you might actually love him more than he does you. And it's like, this is too much for my girl. At least she was strong about it. She was strong. And I think she needs this wake-up call before she continues to fall down this rabbit hole and realizes that she's been living a fantasy and this is not the man that she should be with. Next question from Jamie is, do you think he's going to tell me he loves me? And you have, I totally agree with what Adrian said on this part, because Adrian said, if the feelings are real and if he's being authentic, then he's going to tell you he loves you. Because the thing is, they're being filmed. So if he says it, the whole world is going to know that he loves her. Whereas if he knows he's playing games, he's never going to say it on camera, because people are going to use it against him and say, but you told her you loved her. So how are you now sort of playing games and sort of saying you never loved her when you've already told people and it's recorded that you love her? Make that make sense? And it's like, oh, this is going to be a tough conversation. This really is going to be a tough conversation. You have everyone pack up. They're going back to their partners. We barely saw, outside of the letter that Ryan wrote, we barely saw any activities between Ryan and Beth. I think they're just counting their time. Beth was speeding around the apartment, packing up her stuff. She can't wait to go back. And it's like, well, good for you. She says she didn't learn anything from this man in all the time she was there. I would assume she learned something. In the way he spoke to her, she learned that she doesn't want that in a partner. In the way he treated her, she's learned she doesn't want that in a partner. So I don't know what other lessons she expected to learn. With Elliot and Ree, Elliot is still on his best behavior. He's excited because he feels he's learned a lot from Ree and is hoping that he'll be able to sort of use this to build and grow his relationship. And it's like, oh, poor you, Elliot. Your wife is already fallen for Dave, so you'll be doing all these lessons on your own. You have Carina. Carina is ecstatic. She can't wait to go back to her husband. She said she actually enjoyed her time with TJ. He was very nice. He made her very comfortable, but she likes routine, so she wants to go back to her husband. And it's like, which is it? Is it your Catholic faith? Is it routine? Is it what? Make it make sense. We are so confused. We've got whiplash now. So partner swap obviously is finished. People are going back to their partners. And it's interesting. Jackie and Veronica don't want to go back home. And it's like, ladies, pack your bags and go home. Jackie was looking for she was taking a sweet time folding every single item. And Jeff, I think, could tell that Jackie doesn't want to go home. She's had such an amazing time. She doesn't want to go home. With Veronica, she did a bit too much. She kept looking for stuff. I think at one point it looked like Dave was about to kick her out himself. He was about to pack her stuff and say, Madam, it's time to leave. She was giggly, she was giddy, she was saying, I've never been this happy before, and so it's good that I've been in a environment where I've been able to be myself and enjoy myself. So now I'm going back and I don't know how that's going to be. And it's like, Madam, pack your bags and go home. You're coupled up with that man for a reason. You need to go back. Dave at one point looked like he was about to kick her out the door. And then you have everybody back to their partners. Everyone is excited. They're ecstatic to be seeing one another. We don't get to see Jackie and Ryan. So we get to see all the other ladies that are excited to see their partners, Ree and Jeff. You have Jamie comes back to Dave. She's excited as well. Alfina goes back to Adrian. They're excited to see one another. You have Beth. Beth is over the moon. She couldn't stand Ryan, so she was excited to be going home. And then you have Jamie. Jamie feels awkward because obviously there's this issue with the topics that she discussed with Adrian, and she knows she now needs to sort of address those with her husband. So she's looking around her apartment. Things have been moved left, right, and center, and she's like, oh, how can things have been moved when I've only been gone for 2 nights? And it's like, well, the other lady was making herself comfortable. She was trying to mark her territory in somebody else's house, but hey. You have Carina. Carina is over the moon going back. She is excited. Oh, I missed him. We'll never do this again. I missed my husband. And it's like, Madam, you're not legally married to this man. Say you missed your experiment match for now, and then if you want to get married, you can get married when the show ends, when you decide that you're each other's partner for life. So she's excited. She's climbing all over him. I just want to continue to hug him. I want to continue to snuggle with him. And it's like, if that's what makes you happy, amazing. Afina is talking to Adrian. She's asked by Adrian, how's your time with Paul? She actually says she has an amazing time. She really enjoyed herself. She talks about the fact that, Carina made this comment about her sister. Adrian, surprisingly, even though he fell out with Afina's sister, he still doesn't like the fact that, Carina was making these comments. And is saying, everybody's true colors are coming out. And that's the truth. True colors are coming out. So it's going to be tense and awkward. you have Ree and Jeff. They're excited. They're over the moon. They have a conversation about Jackie and what happened when Jackie came in. He talks about the fact that, she had her dress that she wanted him to steam iron. And so, it was great. He was very hospitable. And I think this is why Jackie had an amazing time. It wasn't like there was anything romantic or whatever, but he just made her feel comfortable and welcome. And I think this is what she loved. So the couples receive a letter under the door to say, you remember the honesty letter that we asked you to write? It's now time for you to read that letter to your partner. And obviously this has mixed reactions because everybody knows what they heard. And Afina immediately is about to pass out because she knows the things that Paul wrote. Adrian was taken aback because he didn't understand. He thought Afina had written something she didn't want him to know. And then he found out that apparently Paul had written some of the meanest things. Paul, when he reads the letter, he wants to pass out. He wishes the floor would open up and swallow him whole because he knows the stuff is written in his letter. He knows how that's going to make his partner feel. He actually says, I had a feeling that this was going to happen. And it's like, so this is how he feels about her. He doesn't care about her and he wants her to know exactly where she stands with him. Because Carina has been pretending that they're the happiest couple in the experiment. And now she's in for a wake-up call because she's going to realize that people actually found out what she's been saying behind their backs. So all the couples are anxious. First off, you have Beth and TJ. Beth and TJ, their letters were aligned because they spoke about the fact that they've come in, they found the person that they were looking for and that they couldn't have done this experiment with anybody else. They're happy with their partner. They're happy with the way their connection is growing. And so for me, do I think they're being genuine? I don't know, especially given the way Beth has been behaving around Ryan. I know Ryan is a pain, don't get me wrong, but I think some of it was a bit too extra because at the end of the day, she's the one who started the beef with Ryan. Ryan didn't have a problem with her until she started mentioning things about his marriage. So I'm side-eyeing her, but I'm happy that she's in a functional relationship with someone who's attracted to her and someone she's attracted to. She feels she didn't learn anything from Ryan. I wish we'd found out exactly what TJ learned from Carina, but we didn't hear anything. Afina is anxious. She's speaking to Adrian. She's anxious because she's worried for her friend Paul because she knows the things that were in his letter. So she doesn't know how Carina is going to receive that. Paul, on his part, was very anxious to read this letter. I think he knew that Carina would sort of spin it and make herself the victim of that letter because he read through the whole letter but left out the fact that she's a snob. He did say she can be judgy, and so she didn't respond after he read his letter. She said she needed to digest it because it was a bit too much for her. And it's like, there must be a reason why he's saying these things. He can't just be painting you in a negative light for no apparent reason. I remember in week 2, week 3, I said these two people should leave the experiment if they're functional. And now we are here because they were getting this very positive spin, and the way the mighty have fallen, I can't wait for the fallout. Because in his confessional, he's asked, Paul, is there anything you left out of your letter? Is there anything you didn't read out? And he's sort of questioning, what do you mean? What do you mean? I think he was trying to rephrase stuff so that it sounded a bit more delicate than the way he initially put it across. He did tell her, obviously, about the comment about Cleo. Carina, on her part, is devastated because she feels she sort of implies that she feels betrayed because, there are things that he said that he was supposed to sort of keep private, it seems. So I can't wait for that fallout. Ree and Jeff. Jeff is ecstatic that Ree is back. He really missed her. So he talks about the fact that he's tired of dating. He wants to settle down. He's getting older. He needs to settle down and get married, according to him. So he's hoping that this is his last chance at dating, and he really wants this to work because he's 39 years old now. Ree, on her part, agrees that she's done with dating as well. She wants to settle down with someone and start having children in a couple of years. So they are both hopeful that this is the connection for them, and they're excited and they're giddy, and I love it for them. If they're happy, that it is what it is. I think Jeff is very accommodating and Ree is very sort of non-confrontational, and I think this is why they get along. And I think being with Jackie was an eye-opener for Jeff, that he actually has it good with Ree, and this is why he was keen to make her understand how he felt about her. So you have Jeff sort of say he's worried about Jackie's letter because apparently Jackie wrote a lot of harsh truths in her letter, and so he doesn't know how Ryan is going to take that. And it's sad because Ryan had said that he and Jackie had an agreement that they were going to keep their relationship private from the others. So I can't wait to hear this letter because I'm just as curious as well. Poor Ryan. I think the guys and girls in Australia are munching him alive. The feminist group and the dads who want to be involved in their children's life, wants to be stay-at-home dads, must be eating him alive. Because Jackie reads her letter. She talks about the things that Jeff did for her to make her feel comfortable. She talks about the qualities that she wants in a man. They then get onto this topic about, stay-at-home dads and the fact that, she's going to be earning more than he does. So she's going to be the primary breadwinner. He talks about the fact that he bought his house before he was 30 and, he saved money, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so he is offended by the idea that he might have to look after the kids while Jackie goes to work, because he says that's beneath him. Just the idea that she would say that, he can't sort of process that. And the fact that she discussed their relationship with Jeff is something that he is furious about. What do I think? I think his idea of masculinity is a bit skewed. I think someone looking after their children does not mean that you are less of a man. At the end of the day, you have to look at the true incomes and decide what are we going to do. If they are both in high power jobs, then why not get a nanny to help them or to put the children in childcare while they both go and work, if that's how they see themselves. I think that argument was just very typical of Ryan and Jackie, because it didn't make sense why they were fighting about hypothetical children and hypothetical, stay-at-home dad. The fact that, she spoke about his masculinity and how he sees it. I think she should have dug deeper to find out, why does he believe this? I know people were saying he's an Andrew Tate type of person, but for me, I think it's just Ryan comes across as someone who was bullied at school, and he had to fight in order to become the version of himself that he thought sort of stood for masculinity and the ideal man. And so the idea that Jack is questioning this, I think this is why he has a problem with it, and it's going to continue to have a problem until they can sort of either meet in the middle ground or keep it stepping. You have Veronica and Elliot. Elliot, one thing about him, he's good at reading these women. I think he should write a book on how to read women, because he read Lauren before we all read her, and he kept it stepping. And now with Veronica, she comes, she reads her letter. Dave did this, Dave did that, Dave did this, Dave. And it's like, I agree with him that why is her letter filled with so many things about Dave? Why was she so infatuated by this man? He was more caring, he was more compassionate, he was more empathetic. I'll give you examples, like when I was eating, do you want some some hot sauce? Do you want some cheese? I'm having cheese. Because he was your host. You wouldn't know where these things are or whether they have them. So he was offering them to you in case you need them. And then for her to say he took my plate to the sink and he washed it and he told me, he was being a host. Jackie didn't suddenly say, Jeff was the best man in the world, because, she did say she enjoyed hotel Jeff. But still, at the end of the day, that does not equate to a good partner. Just because somebody's cleaning up and offering you food stuff and stuff doesn't make them the ideal partner. So I get why Elliot was upset, and for him to go and the Oscar goes to, that rubbed her even more, because obviously she says she's an actress, so he is saying that she's putting on a performance and making it seem like things are worse than what they are, and that didn't sit very well with her because she was upset. She said she spent time with someone who was interested in getting to know her, getting to connect with her, and it's like, that's not your partner. That is not your partner. He wasn't interested in getting to connect with you. He was interested in helping you grow your relationship and establish a better connection. I think she fell in love, or she developed feelings for Dave from just spending the couple of days that she did with him. Had she spent the rest of the week, though, Jamie would have had to sort of come and sort of lift her out with the forklift, because it seems she is so smitten by this man that she can't see past Dave. And I can't wait for her to see his faults if she does eventually steal him from Jamie. So Jamie sits down, she reads her letter out to Dave, and Dave is feeling some type of way because he feels that some of the things that she discussed in the letter, she shouldn't have discussed them with Adrian. These are things that she should have kept private. And it's like, you are not giving her clarity. You are not giving her clarity. She's tried her best to get clarity from you. You are not giving her clarity. And now she's decided to turn to somebody in order to sort of see whether she's actually losing her mind or whether you are playing her, which he is. Because her question to him was, I am tired of initiating physical intimacy with you. Is it because you're not yet in love with me, or you don't have those love feelings for me? That's why you're withholding. And his excuse is, he is someone who is not into having sex every single day, and this is why he's holding back, because to him, in order for him to be physically intimate with someone, he needs to be emotionally there, and because he's not emotionally there yet, this is why he's not doing it. And it's like, I don't think so. I think you're just saying something in order for you not to get yourself in trouble. Tell Jamie the truth. If you don't love her, that's okay. She's a big girl. She's going to understand it. For him to say, 6 weeks in, you've already told me you love me, I'm not yet there. Why then didn't you tell her that? Why didn't you tell her that I'm not yet there? Or if you suddenly got the ick, you should have been man enough to tell her that. Because you said you wanted someone to see you, you wanted someone to make your heart sing, which you told your parents she was doing. And then now suddenly you're saying, oh, I'm not emotionally there, I'm still struggling, I'm still trying to assess where I stand in regards to our connection. I don't buy it. It's either you like Jamie or you don't like Jamie. Jamie's a big girl. She'll put on her big girl panties and keep it stepping. I love that once she got the answer that she wanted, she kept quiet. She didn't argue with him. She didn't say anything to annoy him or anything derogatory or disrespectful. All her questions were quite respectful. Her tone of voice was well controlled, and so it was up to him to choose to be honest with her or not. And I think this is something that he wasn't expecting. This is why he was taken aback, because suddenly he was in a position whereby he couldn't continue to hide. He tried to blame it on Adrian, that Adrian is the reason why we are where we are. And I love that, Jamie was able to pull him back and say, no, Adrian is not our problem. Our problem is we need clarity, and I need you to be honest with me and tell me the truth of where you stand in regards to this relationship. So you have Paul and Carina sit down for another conversation because she's digested the letter and she's now ready to speak to him about it. I give her credit for that. I am someone who tries to sort of reflect on information before I just give an opinion about something. So I give her credit for that. But then I'm side-eyeing her because this man said a lot of things in this letter. He said that her conservative values are very selective in when they show up, which is what I brought up yesterday. And I said her conservative values only show up when it meets a narrative that she's aiming for. They showed up because she didn't want to spend time with another husband, but they did not show up when she was talking about sleeping with a rapper. No, they didn't. When she was going after other girls and sort of being mean girlish, they did not show up. So they are very selective in when they show up. When she was on her honeymoon and she had sex with her husband, they didn't show up. But she is more bothered by the word snob because to her, she feels that this is the most offensive thing that she could have said about her. Even the producers sort of call him back and have a conversation and say to him, so you withheld the word snob. And he tries to hide on the fact that he's bilingual. Bilingual people can get away with sort of saying, I didn't understand the true meaning of the word. Well, what does the dictionary say? A snob, a person with exaggerated respect for high social position or wealth who seeks to associate with social superiors and looks down on those regarded as socially inferior. Right? Or a person who believes that their taste in a particular area are superior to those of other people, for example, a musical snob. And so for me, yes, he said that, but he also said other things that were very demeaning and sort of defamatory towards her character if they were not true. And so the idea that this is the thing that has most offended her is shocking, in my opinion, because I would have been more offended by the fact that he said that my conservative values are very sort of selective in how they show up, given the fact that she was in tears when the partner swap came up. And so I am side-eyeing her that why is she upset about that one word and she's not upset about everything else that is said. Yes, she questioned whether he had told Afina about, he had read the letter fully to Afina, and he said, yes, he did. And I would be more offended about the fact that he said, she criticized him for dating her sister. That would be my problem. And I have a feeling tomorrow when she gets to the dinner party, she's going to play victim. The same way she played victim with Jamie, this is the thing that she's going to do. You had the producers trying to film from outside, a conversation she was having with Paul, where Paul was saying, this experience has been very challenging for us, and we need to always make sure that we're cautious in what we say or do. And it's like, these people have been putting on a performance from day one. They've been playing happy families, and now one of them has let the other down. This is why they're in the position they're in. I have a feeling because Paul has this incident where he lashed out, he has decided to pull her down to the gutter with him by exposing bad things about her, and this is why she's upset. And I can't wait to see the fallout. I can't wait to see the producers, well, not the producer, but the experts' opinion of Carina, whether they still stick to the fact that she's the victim, because I know she's going to play the victim tomorrow. There's no need for her to be bringing up this conversation at the dinner party. This is a conversation she could have had with her husband in private, unless she went and she spoke to her family and they told her what to say to try and sort of polish up her image and sort of repair the damage that's been caused by Paul's allegations. I can't wait. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 26. Bye guys.